Good morning and welcome to DCT Quantum. Now, the last time we met, we talked about DCT Sanctum, and sanctum in Latin means holy place. So, over these 28 days together, what we're going to be doing with the quantum level is going deeply within. And today's theme is as within, so without, as without, so within. And this is a really basic metaphysical law. And it's worth talking a little bit about the current climate that we find ourselves in, given the fact that we're just coming out of Kali Yuga, a structure, an epoch, an age where everything was really heavily structured and laid out for us. But if you've noticed over the last perhaps 80 years or so, we've moved away from that into a more Aquarian mindset. And with that has come almost a self-absorbed, narcissistic, spiritual program or programs, teachers, ways that emphasize that we are all powerful, that we exist in our own universe, that everything stems from us and us alone, that we are God, and that really everything revolves around us, which is heliocentric, I would say egocentric, very egocentric way of looking at spirituality. But the fact of the matter is, we exist within a community, we exist within the mind of Creator. And when we consider and when we contemplate and when we approach sanctum, it isn't just a step in a technique to make you feel calmer. It really truly is a holy act because you're entering a holy place. And that holy place isn't hacking a genie in a bottle. It isn't a spiritual chat GPT where we go in there, we access, we drop our questions, we want results, we want answers, we want clarity and all the rest of it. Although that's natural, asking questions is how we evolve. But I'm saying the idea of putting your receipt in, putting your order in, and expecting your receipt back to be exactly what you ordered, it doesn't work like that. And I think we see evidence of that in the world around us empirically. If you look at the world around us, would you say that those who are the wealthiest people on this planet are the most virtuous, have done the most spiritual inner work, evolution? I'm not casting doubt on many of them that they have. But if you really look at the way power is wielded and demonstrated, if you look at inequality on this planet, there's a huge gap between those that have and those that don't. And the majority of people on this planet, I think, live on something like $2 or $3 a day. That begs the question. And some of these communities, these peoples come from very spiritual, historically spiritual nations with great traditions and ancestral wisdom. And yet they're still dwelling in poverty. So there's a system that everything is relational. And some folks just seem to get what they want. They may not be the best characters. They may not have great ethics. They use force to get what they want because that is the world. That is the matrix. It's a world of force. So, how can we exist? How can we dwell? How can we be spiritual? How can we embody our spiritual inner lives in a way that feels positive, productive, and high agency? Because at the end of the day, we want we want our receipt to reflect our order. We don't want to go into the restaurant and get something completely different back. That's often our experience, though. We often get back what we don't want. So it comes down to this. Yes, there is a higher power. Yes, we are connected to God. Yes, there is an unbelievable power that we can marshal to create the life we want. But there's also the law of vibration. And that law is really, really simple. What you vibrate, and we vibrate through our emotions. So what we vibrate is what we signal. That's our order that goes out. That is projected out into the quantum field, which is completely neutral, but is populated by other beings, autonomous beings, people, things. And then that gets somehow reflected back at us. So the best way, it's as important to look at your environment and audit and take note. Now, we did this over 28 days, if you remember the original DCT. So go back to that if you need to. But it's important that you audit, because if you audit what's out there in your reality, it's going to give you a lot of information about what is going on inside of you, what is incoherent inside of you. Now, the thing about the divine is that the divine, it operates under the prime directive of free will. In other words, it's not going to step in necessarily and stop you making mistakes. It's not going to step in and magic and bypass away all of the things you've been through. So I think that we often get distracted by shiny new things, new techniques, new ideas, and we can go from pillar to post. But essentially it really is as simple as this. Look at your life, look at the receipt, remember what you put out, your order, and then go within. That is what DCT quantum is going to entrain us into. And it's also going to instill upon us resilience. Why resilience? Why is that important? Because resilience and patience, they're both the same thing, really, is what's going to get you through your life in a way that is positive, is high agency. So when we're resilient, we patiently wait. We patiently wait in the stillness, in the silence of the sanctum. And we're going to learn how to listen and to hear and to decipher resonance. Resonance is not words. Resonance is the vibrational language that you speak to the quantum field. And we have to learn how to hear it, how to speak it, how to receive it. Now, tomorrow I'm going to talk about, there are two primary ways to really to get in sync with the inside out, as within, so without. There are two relatively easy ways that have been presented during the Kali Yuga, actually very popular ways. And that's always a choice for us. But for now, I would say to you, as within, so without, as without, so within. Remember today, look at your life. Your life is the receipt. If it doesn't match the order that you put out, put them both up, look at the difference, and ask, right, what's in the gap? What was in the gap of the signal? And that's a really easy thing, to open up a space and just sit with that. And you'll be surprised what comes up. You'll be surprised what comes up. Okay, so we're going to do DCT, and we're going to do it quantum style. There are 5 steps. If you're brand new here, stay around. You're going to get something from this experience. But go back to our first 2 videos in this series, and you're going to understand what we're doing. For those of you that have been following DCT for a while, I'm simply going to use hand cues today. We're going to just jump straight in with 2 feet. It may not always feel very comfortable, but allow the gaps, allow the chitter chatter, allow the pushback that you're going to experience from your ego and from your monkey mind, and simply observe. And if you can, go along with it. And if you need to, after this recording, go back to a full length DCT and go through it again. But what we're trying to do here is we want to internalize deep coherence technique so that it becomes an inside out as well as an outside in practice. Just a little note here. I'm resonating in a wave. What I'm demonstrating, I'm resonating in a wave to you. See if you can hear me. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Complete. when you drop your question or intention, don't think of the words. Visualize a pebble falling into a still body of water, and then focus on the ripple. Thank you for everything. I am truly blessed. I bless my world and all in it. And so it is. DCT Quantum, the language of vibration, is the language that the quantum field speaks. So listen. Notice what comes back today. And I'll see you again very soon.